Hello everyone. And that's a quick recap of the movie, Furia. Enjoy. A gang of football fans stalks a train harassing passengers. They nearly beat a fan of the opposing team to death. After dealing with the fan, the bald thug sits down across from David and starts slapping him, but he still won't answer who he supports. Detective Eva Dyko was tracking a crime boss named Civi, who was settling business with a middleman named Civi, who was trying to rip him off. As punishment, the ant stabbed the man in the leg with a pitchfork. The gangsters are guarded by a bald fighter nicknamed Golden. Eva deliberately started a fight just to get her head smashed in. The policewoman needed a pretext to meet with Surgeon David. David's brother Kashuv faces 20 years in prison for organizing a criminal group and underground fighting. He can help him. They kick me out for cowardice, and he'll kill me for betrayal. Kashuv entered the ring for a 4-on-4 duel. He got the biggest one. Things weren't going well for Kashuv until Golden backed him up. In the end, the whole crowd kicked at Brav. The guys from Furious. So one Kashuv wasn't happy to see his brother here after 10 years. These football fans are helping the drug traffickers. Eva was also a member of the firm until her brother was killed during a showdown. At the time, she was dating David, also a former member of Furiosa. The police want the doctor to infiltrate the gang again and rat out the top brass. That way they'll leave his brother alone. David came to visit the Kashuv family. Soon Golden showed up, a relative altogether again. David felt uneasy and ran away, just like 10 years ago the next day. David almost got caught. He threw off the wiretap just in time and offered Golden his help. They were having a full-on brawl today, and he was a doctor after all, and could be useful. The police were going to stop the brawl. Special forces stopped the bus carrying fans, but they managed to trick the cops and put inflatable dolls in their seats. They got into cars which they drove to the forest, and a serious brawl with other ultras is about to take place. Here the newcomers are getting their final instructions. The rest are warming up. Kashuv noticed his brother. "Did you bring him? Shouldn't you have?" ? He was following us despite their common business. Furiosa will fight against the Ant Brigade. Golden started handing out broken vices, but Kashuv ordered him to put the weapons away. "We will fight fair. We've earned respect. I won't let this go to waste." No one has ever defeated the Ants. They'd been waiting for this fight for a whole year, so everyone had to give it their all. Two crowds of football fans charged at each other. Golden had his own plan. He held back some of the fighters. The rest, led by Kashuv, were trying to counter an opponent who outnumbered them. Finally, Golden also went on the attack. The fresh fighters turned the tide of the fight. David stood behind, but he still had to recollect his old skills. Meanwhile, Kashuv had taken out an ant. Furiosa had won today. Bulka, who had been relieving himself in the bushes, ran out of the forest. He had missed everything. Suddenly, one of the older Ola felt ill. He fell to the ground. David came in handy. What's wrong with him? The pneumothorax needed resuscitation. Ola was only able to breathe when the doctor inserted a catheter into him. "If anything needs to be done, my brother will help." The joyful gang returned to their lair. Detective Bauer was already waiting for them there. The cops searched the premises but found nothing. In fact, Bauer had made sure their mole was safe. Golden met with a drug supplier in Polanska. He needed to pick up a new shipment from the port. He needed a new reliable man. Someone had executed the one who'd thrown him yesterday. David remembered why he'd left the organization 10 years ago. A 3-on-3 fight had broken out in an underpass. Ava's brother suddenly attacked with a knife. David was frightened and froze in place before Ava's eyes. Her brother was stabbed to death with his own knife, and Golden was seriously beaten. Kashuv wanted to kill the cowardly brother, but only ended up kicking him out of the Furiosa. Golden shaved his head and hasn't changed his style since. After this event, Eva joined the police. David entered the ring against Golden, and the bald one gave the traitor a good beating. Gray was also a member of the Furiosa. The cops are going to dig even harder on them now, so Kashuv asked the guys to be as quiet as possible. The detectives want David to find out who killed Savoy. Eva demands the same from her informant from the Ant gang. While Golden and David were busy, the cops arrested everyone in the gym. The only thing they didn't take was a bun. He went out to get donuts at the time. The Ants, meanwhile, were playing some kind of polished version of football. The cops also showed up. Only those on the wanted list got away. The richer the better. Make yourself at home, damn it. Ant was arrested for Siva's murder. For now he'll serve as a witness. Golden and Bulka also showed up at the police station. Eva questioned every fan. It's a hobby, I carve Jesus statues. Small ones. I was sitting with my buddies studying in a girls'. I'm not part of any gang. You're wearing a Furiosa jersey. When was the last time you saw him alive? He's dead. The cops had run out of patience with the Ant crew. Just at that moment the lawyer entered the interrogation room. Take off the handcuffs, thank you. Understood, Goose, please. The whole gang came to pick up Olo from the hospital. He hasn't even been discharged yet, and it's already time to leave for an away match. Well, it's time for the priest to leave. Soon the Ant was released, and he continued to run the drug business. The main warehouse is in some pensioner's apartment there. The Ant keeps all the cash, firearms, and of course a few pitchforks. The lawyer helps the crime boss going far beyond the law. She had just given up Ava's informant. Meanwhile, David had lost the desire to frame his old friends. The fans boarded the bus and went to another city. Olo sat down next to David and said that their friend's death wasn't entirely his fault. That weirdo shouldn't have carried a knife. The Ant arrived at the port and immediately called an ambulance. The thing is, the rats are about to chop off his hand with a machete. The boss asked the guys to take their time so the medics can help the bandit apply a tourniquet and wait nearby until the ambulance arrives. Eva still hopes the informant will help put the Ant away. It's your fault off. The girl wanted to make sure David was okay. She waited for him on the stairs, and the two immediately slept together. We return to the opening scene. David boarded this train for a special purpose. He jumped up and pulled the brake. Furiosa had set an ambush here. David grabbed the rival's banner. He was badly beaten, but he never let go of the trophy. The banner was ceremoniously burned, and David received respect he no longer expected. It's a shame their team lost their third game in a row. So it's time to have a serious talk with the players. Disgraceful we couldn't play. What, you bastard, we couldn't play? Take off our jerseys, you players. The boys got tired, started kicking each other, and Bulka even punched the coach. But after the dressing down, the team finally won. The fans came to talk to the club president. He's going to revoke the passes of the Furiosa members. They won't be allowed into the stadium anymore. But David spoke up and helped resolve the conflict. Eva asked the boss to get David out of the Furiosa. You can get him out, but remember, a fan will always be a fan. Golden took a company car to pick up a large shipment of drugs from the sport. The goods were supposed to be delivered to the printing house, but Kashup realized the cops had set up an ambush there. So he intercepted the van and drove past the SWAT team. They unloaded the goods at the first warehouse they came across. Golden is furious, and Zapolinsky almost landed him in jail for 10 years. My guys work for you for the last time. He won't let go so easily. Kashup asks his friend to get his head together. Isn't he rich enough? All gangsters end up the same way. And plans to set up supplies bypassing Polanski, and at the same time deal with the Furiosa so he can trade on their turf. Eva asked David to leave the company. It's getting too dangerous. Kashup offered his men a choice: stay in the Furiosa or work for Polanski. Some were hesitant, but in the end, everyone stayed, even Golden. Kashup gave his brother his father's boat and asked David to leave the Furiosa. This life wasn't for him. That same evening, Kashup was attacked by masked assailants. He tried to escape, but they caught up with him. They beat him with bats and slashed him with cleavers. For some reason, they didn't finish him off. The boss wanted to deliver the final blow with his pitchfork. Kochup called his family with the last of his strength. Quote, "I love you, Daddy." Quote, "I can't hear you, Dad." Kushuba was taken to the hospital. They fought for his life all night, but a miracle didn't happen. Kushuba died in front of his brother. Who did this then? Kushuba had humiliated him. David tried for a long time to revive Kushuba, but eventually he resigned himself. The fighters were planning to take revenge on the ant, but Golden asked them to calm down. First, the police were watching them. Second, the ant was out of their league right now. The organization needed to rise to his level and then strike. David told Eva that from now on, he would no longer cooperate with the cops. He would find and kill his brother's killer. Golden wasn't wasting any time. He captured Polanski and his men. The old man would hand over his business and nightclub, or his granddaughter would suffer. After the documents were signed, Golden ordered David to shoot the crime boss. He couldn't do it, so the bald one grabbed a Kalashnikov and riddled his recent employer with bullets. Golden had completely taken over the drug business in his area. One day an ant grabbed him but didn't kill him, instead bringing him to his lab. The bandit offered Golden a partnership and expanded the business, as he had access to England and Ireland. Business picked up even more steam. The bald one himself began frequently injecting his own powder. He came to his guys and started throwing around wads of euros. Now, in the interests of the business, we're collaborating with the ant. He was shocked. Only David and Olu openly opposed collaborating with the main enemy. Kushuba's wife asked David to avenge her husband. The most loyal members of the Furiosa were hot on the ant's tail one evening, but suddenly they were blocked from all sides by his armed men. There used to be passion. Pure principles, your mother, a fight between gangs. And swore he hadn't killed Cash Hub because he respected him. Cash Hub was an honest hooligan, a true fighter. The bandits got back in their car and drove away. Only the bun was injured. Meanwhile, the special forces arrived at Golden's home. He ran off across the fields in his underwear, but Eva was already waiting for him at one of the summer houses. A fight broke out between them. Golden punched the policeman in the face, but in return he was hit in the head with a bottle. The bandit took the gun from Eva. Fortunately, Bauer arrived in time and knocked him out. It turned out that Cashew's murder had been captured on several video cameras. After the pitchfork attack, Golden removed his mask. However, Bauer has no intention of throwing him behind bars. He offered the killer a deal which Eva didn't like at all. According to Bauer, Golden is small fry. They could tie up the ant and destroy the entire organization. Baldy described the supply chain to Ireland. Ant isn't personally involved with one exception. He accepts money his mistress brings him from sports. Thanks to this information, the police carried out a successful raid, and soon the freed Golden was dancing in a nightclub. Eva couldn't leave it at that, so she showed the recording to David Yolo. He hired ultras from another club to attack Cash Hub, so the Furiosa members weren't involved. Bauer learned the recording had been leaked, so he ordered SWAT teams to be sent to the club. David wanted to fight his brother's killer one-on-one. He'd managed to get back into shape and was no longer a punching bag. David knocked the bastard out and was about to beat him to death, but Yolo ordered him to run as if he wasn't there. The remaining fighters chopped Golden into pieces with machetes. He was high and lunged at us with a knife. We defended ourselves. The families will receive money from the club's coffers. Eva smuggled David through a police cordon. All his friends were arrested. Meanwhile, Bauer was conducting an operation to catch an ant, but the ant's lawyer tipped him off. The ant made a show of taking a dump on the road and drove away without the money. The police, of course, confiscated the drugs, but the crime boss got away unscathed. Bauer ordered Eva to hand over her badges and guns for framing Golden. Bolka hobbled straight from the hospital to the prison gates. The fool asked to join the others. David gave Eva and his dead brother's family a boat ride. Now, he makes a living fishing. But the past caught up with David. Do you recognize me, huh? The man sat down on the shore and died looking out over the Baltic Sea.